So, welcome on this beautiful Sunday. And as always, let me know in the chat, guys, where you are watching from so I can greet you personally, okay, for this beautiful Sunday STONKS or stocks discussion. There's a couple of things, 10 key factors that I'm watching now for the upcoming week to decide, okay, what moves can you make? And who put this bottle here? I don't know. This is obviously not advertising, okay? No advertising, but you should be always stay hydrated, right? Yeah, so there's a lot of things like we will look into the VIX, into the economics. We look into the tools of the stock market that you have, that you can look into it of the week, and then there's earnings week, obviously, so this is quite interesting. And Elon Musk had an open door day in the Giga factory in Berlin. There we will also have a look into a couple of things. So it was definitely an interesting weekend because last week was quite volatile. Which is good, for example, for investment banks that are giving their earnings next week. So I think that earnings in the investment arm of those investment banks could be very good. So yeah, let me welcome first a couple of chat members here. So let me have a look. So we have people from who is that? Atlanta, DRK, one of our very, very old subscribers. We have Netherlands, we have Lithuania, Bulgaria, Denmark, Lithuania, UK, we have Palestine, we have even JJR, who is from hell, and there's also someone from West Frisia. And what is Ellen saying? Can you please talk a bit more about maintenance time? Why for such a long time? Why then even need to do that if had such a couple of flights? Also, what can move stock up, down during maintenance? Okay, we will get into those questions later on. Also, hi to Russia and New York City. Yeah, I want to start with a couple of things that every one of you can do it out there. But there's one more question. Apparently, it's one of the first questions here. Williams is saying, answer the question before. So, William, first of all, hi, okay? Second of all, there is a please missing in your statement, in your comment. And third, I don't see the questions of the last live stream. So if you would be so kind and just post your question again, I will be more than welcome to answer it today. Thank you, William. Now back to the live stream, and let's dive directly into the S&P 500 here, okay? The S&P 500 is the market, okay? It's considered to be the market, and everyone who want to invest need to beat the market to be considered a good investor. Otherwise, it makes no sense to play around with stocks, with options, with trading, whatever you're doing, if you don't beat the market. Okay? As easy as it is, okay? So the S&P 500 very close to all-time high. So in general, you can see that I think that the overall scenery, that there's no alternative for stocks is still on, okay? Though we have up from time to time this break through downwards. Whoops, we will come to the chart in a second. The still overall theme is very much up, right? And you see how the stocks are going up. So the probability when you find a great company that it's doing better with the overall market is pretty damn high, okay? This means that you don't have to be general so good in stock picking, in my personal opinion. I feel that you can also just invest into the S&P, you main of your money, and then, for example, just play around with some itchy finger money around that index, okay? My personal opinion. The one thing I always say when people are saying, hey, what do you recommend? Which stock do you recommend, and I always say, start with the S&P 500. It's super easy. Okay, very, very easy to buy and sell, and you don't have to do nothing. They change all the time. And if you're thinking about it, okay, just think about your daily life. Okay, you're watching Netflix, you're using an iPhone, you are using WhatsApp, Instagram, Facebook. You are using maybe Microsoft products, right? Like Windows or Word or Excel, right? If you just consider, that, you're pretty much into an ecosystem of American companies. So it's not a bad, idea to invest in the S&P 500, which is then a very, very good personalization of exactly this. All right. So just saying. So let's have a look into the chart of the S&P 500. There happened something that is quite interesting. Here was an uptrend, okay? We broke through a couple of times, but here now we broke again. So the question is now, can we escape and make the round? And I think we can in the, let's say, infrastructure of very good earnings, okay? So I can imagine that with very good earnings, which now it's always about expectation versus earnings, and once the earnings are pretty good, you will see that this can go back to this channel and then, just climb over time, and, over the next couple of years can go be above 5,000. I think the stopping point of this overall rally will be when the interest rates will be raised, okay, sometime in 2023, 2024. Now we had the bad market for jobs on Friday, which gave us a little bit of freedom in terms of Fed policies, right? So it's kind of tricky, okay? Nevertheless, there's another factor that just growed on Friday, okay? That's because of the bad job report, and this is the Treasury yield 10 years, okay? And remember, the one thing that you need to know about the Treasury yield is when it goes up, it's bad for tech stocks, all right, usually. So what does it mean? Well, we have seen what this can do, especially here. You remember, in March, we had a 1.73 yield, which then caused a lot of trouble for the stock market, okay? Because it went so much fast up. And now we have a similar situation, and again, so much fast up. So the question is how it really, is it again this situation, right? You see, we had a very fast updrive, stayed a little bit, at the 150 mark, and then went up to 173. And this panicked the market. This could also happen now. So this is also a very, very key factor to absolutely look for that, okay? This is very, very important. Then the next one is the VIX, the Volatility Index. The only one thing that you need to know about the Volatility Index is basically that if it's going up, STONKS are usually going down. So actually, you have seen that the VIX, so for example, I think it was on Tuesday, Tuesday we had the situation where the stock market actually tanked, especially in the futures before the overall market opened. And then you had this look on the stock markets and everything went down, while the VIX was relatively stable, or even though went down. This always means that, okay, that's an overreaction. This can bounce back, okay? So very interesting, actually. So because the VIX is also including derivatives market, and, it's always crises or crashes are always, triggered at some point also in the derivative market. Also options, right? Leverage, right? This is the bad thing that is causing really trouble to the overall financial market. So this is a very good indicator to look for. Okay, is it going up? Then, well, I should be maybe careful. Maybe not today buy my favorite stock, okay? Maybe wait a couple of days. So this is something to watch as well. Then there's another index, which is also quite interesting. It's called the Fear and Greed Index. Normally, analyzed by the Bank of America. That's why you might have seen always BOFA. Fear and Greed Index. But, if you just put it into let's say Google, then you will find a kind of different sources that summarize that. So as you can see here, market momentum, extreme fear. Put and call options, extreme fear. Stock price trends, extreme fear. What does it mean if the market is fearful? Okay, that's actually a good sign, because when you are having a market that is totally, happy about everything, and everyone is in euphoria, and everything, greed, and everything comes up. Greed, as Gordon Gekko said, is good. In this case, it's bad. So extreme fear, as you can see here, is actually a good sign, because this is always again a little bit of counterintuitive. Okay, so once you see extreme fear, maybe it's a good time to buy stocks. Okay, so that's also important. Now, before we diving now into some stocks and some space news, I would love to ask you to subscribe if you're a new one, and obviously if you are happy with the live stream and the quality and the fun and everything, then I would appreciate a thumb up. Before I come into the question, I would love to go through a couple of more things that are important for next week, and this is starting with Blue Origin. Blue Origin actually will have its next launch on the 13th of October. So I think it is Wednesday or Tuesday. So it's Wednesday. And I will be live. Okay, I will love to live stream that. So I will really look forward to that. I don't think I can live stream the feed itself, so it will be more my commentary and what I see on the stream. So that's quite interesting, and it will be fun. So join me on Wednesday at around 8:30 a.m. at CDT and 13:30 UTC. Okay, so you need to look up which time this would be for you. You get obviously notified if you rang the bell already, okay, on my channel. Then this obviously could influence the space stock. Not much movement though over the all last week, right? We are still, in terms of technicals, rather bearish. I said it many times, we need to have a bigger jump here to see bigger levels, but there's a lot of good things happening, right, in front of us. There's the another space news company, right, that's doing their launch. There's maybe anytime now the announcement of the next test flight, which would be great as well. And that's pretty much what we are looking forward for space out there. And that said, maybe one of the most important things will be the earnings. The earnings season starts. The last earnings of the year, Q3 I'm already too much into earnings, right? And as you can see, there's a website called Earnings Whispers, and you can actually look through the days, and you see that we traditionally start with the banks. So Monday is nothing, so tomorrow is not really something that could influence the market that much. Then we have on Tuesday also not huge companies that are reporting, and then it really starts on Wednesday with JP Morgan, Delta Airlines, BlackRock, very important. Those are the big guys. Then we have Thursday, following by Taiwan Semiconductors, also very important what this industry says, because as you know, the overall situation is that we are needing semiconductors as much as possible. So then we have on Friday Goldman and Sachs, Charles Schwab, and that's pretty much it, right? Or is there something else? No. So this is quite interesting. And if you go on to main page, you see, this month end of the month will be also Apple. End of the month will be Tesla. Then AMD end of the month as well, and American Airlines, is that? No, Bank of America mid of October. So there's a couple of crazy earnings, and very, very much volatile, period of the market, right? Very fun period of the market when our favorite stocks are reporting the earnings. So make sure to prepare yourself for great live streams. And then obviously let's finally also look into the economic calendar for this week, which is, let me have a look. This is important. 3 stars looks always important. So what we have, Tuesday, let me see. Okay, nothing. GDP year over year in UK, production, manufacturing. Okay. That would be maybe interesting, right? But then, so I would say all in all, maybe retail sales is also interesting a little bit, how the consumer of United States of America is doing. The jobless claim maybe a little bit. Crude oil inventories will be very important because, as you know, the crude oil is going higher and higher and higher. So that will be quite interesting. So rather, end of the week could be something that could influence the market a little bit. Other than that, let's dive into your questions, guys, okay? So let's start with Ellen's Ozolin's question. Okay, he was asking what will happen during the maintenance period, and I actually made a video about it because I think that though it's a quite, let's say, time for space, it could be quite, let's say, volatile as well. Okay, any small news that they prepare to launch, I don't think that they will let the stock too much drop, and I don't think that Virgin Galactic at some point, except there's something that is like a black swan event, will drop further. I think somehow we build a bottom of $20. I don't see a stock now with this news, with no further bad news, going below 20, 18. This kind of times are in my personal opinion over, right? But you never know. So I think the maintenance periods for sure will be silent, but with every news, see, this is the point. Everyone expected to go down, and everyone expected to be silent, but maybe we will have some great news during those periods of maintenance, okay? Because the sales team is working, the operational team is working, so the marketing team is working, so you never know what they are come up to, right? I have seen crazy stuff coming out of nowhere. For example, the FAA license, and you remember for what the stock did, 40%, exactly. So what else? Let me see. Carlos Sanchez, shout out for Carlos Sanchez in California. Thank you very much for watching. Hello Wolf, what do you think about Sundial Growers IT went up in Reddit top 10? I haven't heard about it. To be honest, I haven't scanned the Wall Street bets that closely because I'm not into day trading of stocks per se. But if you're interested, I posted the video not a long time ago how you exactly look for stocks that could blow up because of Wall Street bets. All right. What is the time horizon of investors here in the chat? Okay, DRK is asking. Well, my horizon is definitely years, okay, if not decades. My person. I did a lot of, let's say, I lost a lot of money because I was, investing short term. And there's a nice saying that short term thinking will give you long term problems. Okay, think about that. Wolf, how much do you think Blue Origin's flight will spark interest in space? I think, great question by DRK. I think at the end of the day, it's really the overall space industry. Every now and then, Blue Origin makes the flight, space go up. SpaceX launches the first tourists up, space goes up. So it's all interconnected because it's one big industry that is growing like crazy. And I think that, that's exactly what we want to see, right? This continuous development. And with that said, don't forget to follow me on Instagram as well, Wolf of Dubai Danny. I would highly appreciate that. And with that said, I wish you the best Sunday that you ever had.